Here's your host, Alex Garrett.
Well, over the next couple of moments here, you're going to hear from my alma maters, Queens College, and yes, the Viscardi Center. But I want to first start out on the sports side of things, thanking Zac Ivkovic, Gail Marquis, and the current CEO of the New York City Basketball Hall of Fame, Michael T. Cohen, for making last night's special at the Barclays Center this past Thursday, where we got to see, I believe, 9 more inductees into the New York City Basketball Hall of Fame, including Joe the Destroyer Hammond, Ronnie Nunn, and a legendary NBA official, and a New York City basketball icon, and Tina Charles, who was a former New York Liberty, and a few more along the way, a Cardozo High School alum, Lauren McGill. And I got to catch up with someone who I've known since I was about 20 years old, Gail Marquis. Now, if you know the Queens College basketball history, you know Gail Marquis is part of that legendary 1972 squad, which broke a lot of ground for women's basketball. They played the first game at Madison Square Garden against Immaculata. They were a winning team. They also were the team that Howie Rose broke in with as an announcer back in 1972, and now he's celebrating 50 years of radio. But as far as Queens College alum go, it's a very esteemed class to be part of. And I want to get you now to my conversation during the Liberty game with Gail Marquis up in one of the suites at the Barclays Center. It was such a special night. And she and Zac Ivkovic, former CUNY athletic commissioner, talked about what it means to revitalize the New York City Basketball Hall of Fame. Take a listen to this awesomeness right here. In game, by the way. So the audio, it's real time, baby. It's real time, right at the, almost the courtside sound like, watching the Liberty and talking to Gail Marquis, who weighed in on, yes, even today's stars like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Take a listen. All right, one of my mentors from Queens College, a fellow Queens College alum, and of course a legendary member of the NYC Basketball Hall of Fame, Gail Marquis, is with me here tonight. What's it mean to be here at the Basketball Hall of Fame and see these inductees go in tonight?
Oh, it's so nice. Always so proud of the 2 women that are going in, Lauren Cargill, as well as Tina Charles. I'm sorry. We're really always happy and just to see the next class of the women going in. I went in 2009. Prior to that was Lucille Cavallis. After me came the names like Debbie Mason and even our Queens College team that played at Madison Square Garden, and our teams that had a great run at the NCAA championship. So I continue to be supportive of women basketball in the game.
By the way, the Liberty have done a hell of a year. Your thoughts on Caitlin Clark taking this entire league by storm, though?
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful between Caitlin and that whole class. Caitlin, Angel Reese, just name the whole list. A young lady from Stanford. I'm sorry I can't remember all the names, but just this class of inductees. This league is finally getting its praise, its awareness 26 years later. But we've always been here. I'm not jealous of a Caitlin Clark or Angel, the young ones. I'm glad they finally shine the light on this league.
Let me ask you about your teammate, Donna Arender, also a Queens College Hall of Famer, by the way. When she was commissioner, how proud of you were when she became commissioner?
Oh, man. Queens College in the house at Madison Square Garden. And commissioner, I used to call her commissioner. She said, no, David Stern is a commissioner. I'm the president. I said, commissioner. So proud of her.
Now, you know what Rob Tribal did is they actually put your likenesses up in the rafters at Queens College. Did you see that?
No, but he had been asking me questions. I haven't been back to see it yet.
I'm sorry, Gail, can I get you guys anything? You guys are back?
No, I'm okay.
Zac, come on in here. Zac Ivkovic is with me as well. What does that mean to you?
What does what mean to me?
This night. What does this night mean?
Come on. You're talking about legends of New York City basketball in one place. What does it mean? It means the world to recognize them in such a great fashion. Even a small token of our appreciation that they feel, that they see how much they mean to the community, how much they mean to New York City. It means the world. It means the world to me, let alone I hope it means that much more to them, because it's their life's work. And 99% of the time, on behalf of others, on behalf of those that can't help themselves. So these are selfless people that have given of themselves their entire lives. So you can't ask for more than for us to show a little bit of our appreciation, and we thank you for being here, and we're so proud of them.
Let me ask you this to both of you, Gail and Zach. Continuing the legacy of this Hall of Fame, what's next? Like, what's the next steps?
Well, we wanted to grow. We wanted to back where it was and bigger. So, quite frankly, this is a way to get back into it, to show first step, and then it should be a first step of many in a positive direction. Part of my involvement, and I know Gail's, is how to do things bigger and better. So, next one better be grand.
Yes, and there's so many names. We had that stop maybe 5 or 7 years because of COVID and other things, but we've left off so many names, and I've always had them at the top of my list. Number one, probably Sue Bird out of Christ the King. She'll be one I'm looking to get in, and so many other guys as well. So and coaches, it's just a lot of names to keep pulling in, and it's a great legacy, and it's just something special when you start to do things for others, and that's what you're doing when you represent your country, your neighborhood, your college, and you're representing that. You come into that body, you represent your country. It's a beautiful thing.
And I gotta give thanks to Michael T. Cohen, who had me out here tonight as well. He's been doing great as a CEO, hasn't he?
Well, listen, we got a good team. Michael is certainly a big part of that. He does a lot of great work, but to Gail's point, we have a backlog of people of 7-8 years that we need to induct, and we know in our selection this year was tough. We had too many names, and we said, okay, let's not pretend that we're not going to have future years. This is not the only one. So this is just a rebirth and starting fresh, and we're going to keep growing, and there's a bunch of them.
Watch these guys play that were inducted tonight?
Oh, definitely watch them. Some of them we grew up with. Yep. You idolize them. You watch their work. So it's wonderful, and I like that we're here at the Barclays Center. So, it's more than just a chicken dinner at one of the clubs. It is great that you can present these Hall of Famers in front of a vast audience of 15, 20,000, I don't know how many here, at mid-court. Let them have their due.
When you guys were inducted as a class in 72 team, you were inducted as basically a team. What was that like? What was that moment like?
First of all, it was great to get back with my teammates. So I was a freshman, sophomore when we were on that run, and many of them had moved to other parts of the state. It was, first of all, a wonderful reunion of coaches and players. And then just to see that, we did that task in 1972, 73. We got inducted a good 40 years later, just that the work that we had done stood the test of time. There's no other team who had done what we had done.
And alma mater is doing a great job keeping the legacy alive as well, I think.
Yes, I agree.
And Gail, I want to thank you because you basically took me under your wing when I first heard, so thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome, and then you pop up at the Barclay, and here you are. Wonderful.
Thank you, Gail, so much.
You're welcome. Keep rolling, man.
It is, listening back to that, it's a little goosebumps because we're talking about the history of Queens College, our alma mater. Something 15 years ago, doors were just starting to get open as a freshman. The WQMC radio show was just starting around this time on October 15th, 15 years ago. And now here we are talking to Gail Marquis, a friend, a longtime friend, and an esteemed member of the Queens College alumni. This is special. It's special too, and I had her on a few years ago too, but it's just special to see her every time we do. We did a panel with Howie Rose, Michael Weissman, and at the time the legal counsel of the NBA, Harvey Benjamin, all Queens College graduates, and I was I want to say 2010 is maybe even a freshman that year. Getting introduced by James Meiskens. I mean, that was such a special moment, and now 15 years later to see her again, it brought back all those memories, and I just think about it, and I think the people like Gail Marquis who has helped advance this journey through her support the last 15 years. Well, I'm Alex Garrett. Thanks again to Michael T. Cohen, Zach of the Basketball Hall of Fame, Ben Keller as well, for hosting us last night at the Barclays. I know they had a big reception earlier in the day, which unfortunately I was not able to be at, but to see a few of those folks that got inducted, to be the courtside as they were being inducted, that was a special moment. And maybe we'll get Michael on and others on who were inducted for a further conversation down the road. How cool would that be? As the New York City Basketball Hall of Fame is alive and well and revitalized. And we got to keep an eye on it and help them have one leg up in that space of New York City. Talk to you soon. And stay tuned for another trip down memory lane with Viscardi Center board member Ken Kunkin, who talks about how Dr. Viscardi gave him his start at the Viscardi Center when it was Abilities back in the 70s. So much more to come on the One Leg Up podcast. Thanks for joining this network each and every time. Appreciate you listening, and we'll talk to you soon on One Leg Up with Alex Garrett.